I can honestly say that when I first played God of War 2018, I wasn't a fan. The tone, gameplay, story, Kratos himself felt so different from the original formula that it barely felt like the same series. Kratos genuinely felt like a ghost of his former self. He no longer had the rage of ferocity once wielded against the Olympian gods. Instead, his greatest challenge was being a father to Atreus and climbing the highest mountain of the realm to scatter his wife's ashes. My initial playthrough was full of frustration because of all these changes. I disliked the gameplay, I died more often than I ever did in the original games, and the added RPG elements pushed me further away the longer I played. I rushed through the story, skipped side quests, ignored new characters, and avoided optional areas, choices that only made the game harder as enemies grew tougher. The original trilogy was far more linear and rarely required side content, so the shift felt jarring. Eventually, I put the game down and told myself I'd return to it another time. That was back when it first released. Now, in 2026, I'm finding it hard to put down. The original God of War trilogy delivered amazing narratives that made players infatuated with Kratos. He was an unstoppable force, someone who had died multiple times and cheated death every time. But one aspect that wasn't fully fleshed out was character progression. While those games gave you multiple weapons, progression mostly meant collecting red orbs to upgrade abilities. It was simple, fast, and didn't require much investment. Combat was arcade-like, and it worked extremely well. That design philosophy was largely abandoned in God of War 2018. Instead, we got RPG elements that required gathering resources for upgrades, weapon-specific materials. Kratos suddenly cared about his armor, which also needed upgrades, and certain skills scaled off particular stats. During my first playthrough, this frustrated me. I didn't want to hunt for crafting materials or compare armor sets to create a build. As a longtime fan, it felt like the franchise was adopting game trends instead of preserving its identity. These changes also made Kratos feel more vulnerable. Combat was no longer brain dead, it was methodical. Being Storm wasn't trivial, it required spacing, strategy, and prioritizing targets. Then there was Kratos himself. His lack of enthusiasm for battle killed my vibe. In the original games, after every encounter, he'd shout something angry or disrespectful, fueling the momentum between fights.
Zeus, your son has returned! I bring the destruction of Olympus!
In God of War 2018, Kratos no longer radiates that fiery intensity. He spends much of his time chastising Atreus for acting impulsively or not staying focused. His heart clearly isn't in the game anymore. He fights only to fulfill his goal and prepare Atreus for the future. It's funny though, because I ended up doing a complete 180, and now I enjoy the game because of all these changes. Back then I was out of sync with the game. What it was trying to deliver clashed with the kind of experience I was craving. I wanted fast gameplay that didn't require much thinking about story or upgrades. I wanted speed, hot nasty speed. Games like Hades, Wolfenstein, Overwatch, and Neo were exactly what I wanted. If a game required emotional investment or patience, it could kick rocks. Now, I want to take my time with games. I don't want to feel rushed or pressured. If I'm vibing with the game, I'm playing it. Simple as that. It's crazy how many gamers struggle to actually play games these days. Some are overwhelmed by the sheer number of releases, others have backlogs that feel impossible to tackle. It leads to people sitting in front of their screens, paralyzed by choice instead of actually playing anything. The solution might require adjusting your mindset, but my recommendation is this. Sync with the energy of the game you're playing. This year I've taken time to get competent at fighting games and to work through my backlog. What I discovered, especially through replaying God of War 2018, is that we need to match the energy of the games we play. Instead of bringing high expectations or forcing our own ideas of what a game should be, we need to slow down and give each game a fair chance. After all, we bought the game with the intention of playing it. Once I stopped rushing and really listened to Kratos and Atreus' banter, I began to enjoy their dynamic.
So, know any good stories to pass the time?
What kind of story?
I don't know. Mother always had stories. Weren't you told me when you were a boy?
There was a man I knew of long ago. His stories were brief and purposeful.
Sounds fun. Do you remember any?
There was one that concerned a hare and a tortoise.
Like the witch's house?
Unlikely.
So what happens?
They wager on a race between them. The hare is too confident of victory and foolish, while the tortoise is steady and disciplined. The tortoise wins.
Side quests ended up surprising me. During my first playthrough, I ignored them completely, but this time I'm doing every single one. That's how I discovered the mission to free the dragon Fafnir. I'm still not sure whether completing side quests affects the water level, but the Lake of Nine dropped lower than I remembered, revealing new paths, new quests, and better armor that actually helped me progress through the main story. Brock and Sindri also grew on me, and completing their missions added more layers to their characters while rewarding me with great gear. The gameplay has definitely evolved, but I still prefer the original trilogy style. I'm not a big fan of the Leviathan axe or its moveset. It feels slow and many of the attacks lack impact. Some moves like sprinting and slamming the axe into the ground feel great, staggering enemies and doing solid damage. But others like the spinning throw around Kratos' body or the forward-reaching axe swing feel almost useless because of how little damage they deal. Getting the Blades of Chaos was a welcome change of pace and brought back some of the old school feel, but they're not as strong as they used to be. Their moveset clearly shifted to fit the new gameplay style and relies heavily on special attacks to deal real damage. Ultimately, my complaints are small and not enough to be considered true flaws. After finishing the game, my excitement to play God of War Ragnarok has only grown, and I'm stoked to see the changes that were made to improve the series. I hope you enjoyed this video, and it hopefully inspires you to look at your backlog as something exciting rather than a chore. Feel free to leave a like and share your thoughts about a game that rekindles your love for gaming. Have a good one.